Okay, well, just so that we understand, these guys are talking in some serious code. Supposedly there's some information. It's not information. Listen very carefully.
In jail before. I mean, he's gone through this quite a bit. I mean, Veritas actually hit me up this morning.
There's been some active threats being made against James O'Keefe. So what do you know?
Yeah, so Project Veritas.
Project Veritas. Remember this word, Project Veritas.
Actually hit me up this. Yeah, so Project Veritas actually
being made against James O'Keefe. So what do you know?
Yeah, so Project Veritas actually hit me up this morning earlier. Spoke to him on the phone, on and off throughout the day. And what they're saying is they've received some legitimate threats. Now, James O'Keefe was actually thrown to the ground and had an FBI storm in. He's been in jail before. I mean, he's gone through this quite a bit. I mean, he's been a victim of the corrupt.
This is so bullshit, and it's so bad. You'll understand here in a minute.
Government coming out backlashes whenever he exposes what's going on. You know, so there's
He's not exposing anything, you jackasses. You're setting the people up.
Legitimate threats happening right now, you know, and they're kind of wondering, are the feds going to come busting in their door at any time?
Right.
So that's why they've activated this dead man switch. So
a dead man switch. A dead man switch. A dead man switch. It's death. Just keep listening. I know what a dead man switch is, but the way they're talking about it is people dying. Dead man switch. Project Veritas. Dead man switch. Wait, here we go.
To say, and Alex has already announced today on the show, but we're going to have that key if something happens to James.
They're going to have the key.
James O'Keefe over this weekend before the video's released. He's going to have a part 3, and the words from his team were, "It's nuclear." You know?
It's nuclear. So you've got Project Veritas, Dead Man Switch. It's nuclear.
They handed that Hillary Clinton and Donna Brazell, or whatever, the new head of the DNC. So those names were brought up in the conversation as well. So it's
You're making it sound like a document. It's not a document.
Exciting to see what's going to happen. You know, the first video he drops already got, what, 10 million views. He's talking about how the DNC paid these crazy people to come out and incite violence at Trump rallies. You know, something that we talked about on and off all the time.
Look how they changed it. Watch.
Crazy people to come out and fight violence.
Project Veritas. All they did is they just changed it. They changed it slightly. So let me show you what's nuclear and what's a dead man switch. A dead man switch. It's very interesting. Let's take a look at what Project Veritas is. Let's find out who Veritas is. How they tweaked the word a little bit. Oh, it's beautiful. In Roman mythology, Veritas, meaning truth, was the goddess of truth, a daughter of Saturn. And the mother of Veritas. Hang on a minute. Listen to this idiot and just understand what he's saying.
Happens to James O'Keefe over this weekend before the video's released. He's going to have a part 3.
Part 3. Listen.
And the words from his team were, "It's nuclear."
So part 3 would be what? Part 3 would mean it's a series of things, which is what? You have World War I, you have World War II, and then you have part 3, World War III. Hang on.
You know, they handed that Hillary Clinton and Donna Brazell, or whatever, the new head of the DNC.
Look at Hillary. She's got her own Jewish Nazi arm symbol up there. Listen what he says here.
It's going to come out with some bombshell stuff. You know, these guys are super excited. They said it's going to be nuclear. It's going to be the biggest thing. It's really going to pull that last pillar down on the corrupt government.
It's going to pull the last pillar down. The single pillar. Oh, the single pillar represents Saturn. It's because it's I believe it comes from the story of Sodom and Gomorrah that was destroyed. Basically nuclear. When they were told to leave Lot and his wife and his family, they said, "Don't turn around." The wife turned around and looked, and it says she was turned into a pillar of salt. Well, you know she wasn't. It's the pillar. She was turned into a pillar because she went against what God said. So she was turned into the pillar. She's the broad. The one that I just showed you right here. It's the same one. And she's elusive. This is the woman. I don't care how they write it out. It's the same broad. She's elusive. And she's shown dressed in white. They're going to pull down that last pillar. I'm telling you, this is not good. This is not good. And just another comment. The Chicago Cubs are in the World Series. Okay? I'm pretty sure that was always set, that if they ever made it there, that would be the key, that this thing was getting ready to go off. You know, people would say it as a joke, but I do believe that it's a Masonic trigger for people to know what's going on. Let's see. So look at this stupid shit. This is a Chicago thing, but the Cubs are going to the World Series. The thing was, in 1945, some dude put a curse on it called the Billy Goat. Well, we know the goat is in reference to the dick. Remember what the guy said? It's like holding the goat or whatever it was in that video. Well, it's a dick. No, it's masturbating. And so here, the Billy Goat curse. The legend has it that the tavern owner named Billy Goat Sionis pronounced a curse on the team in 1945. He went on, he purchased a ticket for himself and one for his pet goat, Murphy, thinking it would bring the Cubs luck. But the usher stopped and Murphy. Sionis appealed directly to the club, asking why he couldn't take his personal mascot to the game. Because goats stink. Well, if it's a dick, the reason the goat stinks is because it's going up somebody's ass. This is all code. Then he said the Cubs aren't going to win anymore. And now they're in there. The Cubs led 3-0. Yeah. See the finger? And a t-shirt says, "What did Jesus say to the Cubs? Don't do anything till I get back." So there's definitely a high indication of judgment of Judgment Day destruction or whatever. When you see this kind of stuff, and what that ass was talking about, busting the pillar, Operation Veritas, it's nuclear. It's in a series. It's 3 in a series, right? It's 3 in a series because it's World War III. And then you got all of these assholes talking about this thing called October Surprise. None of this is good. None of this is good. This finger is the one that goes in the asshole. That represents it's demonic energy. It's the ass fucking bit. Here they're using the case. I know what they're saying. They're trying to equate Jesus to this act of fucking in the ass. I know that's exactly what they're doing. Why is this dickweed? Why is this dickweed right here using the word Operation Veritas? Because they know they're all in on it. I've been trying to get this through to people for years. Bombshell will soon destroy the DNC. I'm sure the C means current. D is direct. Well, let's see.
I got an email from him, read over it. It looks amazing, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
Right. And of course, now Donna Brazil has come out saying, "Oh, well, it's all been altered. It's hacked. We were hacked by the Russians. No one should pay any attention to any of this stuff that's coming out."
Donna Brazil. Donna Brazil. Really? That's her name? Donna Brazil? What is Brazil? Brazil is where all the Nazis fled at the end of World War II. There's a movie called The Boys from Brazil. Donna Brazil.
And it's just, that's James O'Keefe on his Twitter was kind of alluding to, you know what, Donna, we've got something coming for you too, by saying that this isn't real, you don't want to watch it, you don't want anyone to believe it. And it's pretty exciting that they would come to us because they know that InfoWars is going to play the videos in its entirety. We are not afraid of these people. The only thing we're afraid of is if they get their way. That's the only thing that we have to be scared of. So that's super exciting. And I know that you'll have more on that as that information comes in. But that's why people, you know, have to come here, because it is people like James O'Keefe. We're all in this together. We're all in good company.
Well, as I get updates, I'm going to be
Speak for yourself.
tweeting them out on my account and then using Alex's account as well. So we'll have updates as they happen. And then we should be looking at that video dropping sometime the beginning of next week, maybe Monday, Tuesday, something like that. So everyone, fingers crossed. Hopefully this will
Yeah, that's what you want to do, is cross your fingers.
be the video that finally brings down the corrupt Democrat Party and Hillary Clinton, because that's what we need.
This ain't got nothing to do with no film, buddy.
That's very exciting. Thank you, Joe Biggs. And thank you, all of you out there. We'll be waiting for that nuclear report coming from Project Veritas.
The nuclear report from Project Veritas.
Thank you, all of you out there. We'll be waiting for that nuclear report coming from Project Veritas.
Here, let's look at the nuclear report. Let's look at a real old report. Let's find out what's going on here. Sodom and Gomorrah, homosexual. This whole fucking in the ass type place going on. God said I'm not going to put up with it, so he went down there to destroy it. That's basically the story. She became a pillar of salt after she looked back at Sodom after they were told not to. The narrative of Lot's wife begins in Genesis. The two angels arrived at Sodom and were invited to spend the night at Lot's home. As dawn was breaking, Lot, visiting angels, urged him to get his family and flee so as to avoid being caught in the impending disaster for the iniquity of the city. Lot delayed. The angels took hold of his hand, his wife's hand, and his daughters, and brought them out of the city. The command was given, flee for your life, do not look behind you, nor stop anywhere on the plain, which is in the desert. Flee to the hills, lest you be swept away. Lot objected to the idea of fleeing to the hills and requested a safe haven in a little town nearby. The request was granted, and the town became known as Zoar. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Didn't Ben Stiller make a video called The Zohar? Anyway, traveling behind her husband was Lot's wife. Looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. This ain't got nothing to do with this. This is all nuclear. The place was burnt fucking flat to the ground because it's nuclear. This broad that turned around is the same one that's playing the fucking Devil Wears Prada. Believe me, this is a nuclear thing. I'm getting way too liberal with that word. Operation Veritas. Truth was the goddess. That's it. That's it. There's no way that they would have ever picked that name, Veritas, if they were not part of the organization. And I had no idea what Veritas was. I knew it had something to do with Saturn because all of their stuff does. These guys are trying to usher in the next phase of this whole thing, and they got to bring destruction to do it. And they're all doing it because they believe in this goddess thing. I've caught Alex Jones on a couple of occasions bringing up his loyalty to it. So there you go. There it is.